Actually, haven't seen a lot of Bug Delver lists recently. And he's playing an interesting one with the creature base here. We got 4 Delver, 4 Death Threat, 4 Tarmogoyf, 1 Dark Confidant, and 1 Gurmag Angler. I don't know if that's the usual
sort
list.
of normal. Bug Delver hasn't been super popular lately, but that's about the right
numbers.
Just a thing. Sometimes they'll play Dark Confidant, rarely, or they'll play a V-Click main. I'm not sure. Did you say V-Click?
No V-Click.
Sometimes they do.
It's not even on the board.
That's more. I guess it's typically on the board for combo matchups.
Matt's going to start it off with a turn 1 him. Whether we see it being Daze or not, I'm not so sure yet. I don't even know if he has Daze. I saw Force of Will. He's going to take the Randomize.
So big difference in these decks. Our Rug is more of a mana denial deck with really efficient threats and spells. Everything in the deck costs less than 2.
Yep.
Or less. Sorry, 1 or less, except for Tarmogoyf, Daze, and Force of Will.
Yep, correct.
They're going to deny your mana, get a cheap threat, protect your threat while destroying your lands. That's what they do. Bug Delver, on the other hand, sort of does the same thing, where it has some really good, cheap, efficient threats. But they're playing their Stifles in the sideboard. They're not playing their Stifles main, which is very common. They're going to kill your creatures a little more than you can kill theirs. They can hang out with the mid-range decks a little better.
Okay.
It's also, instead of playing Burn, they're playing Discard. You know, they're playing a little bit of less... are they playing 4 Brainstorm, 4 Ponder? They are.
Okay.
But instead of the Burn package, they're playing Hymn to Torox and Thoughtseizes.
And Abrupticate.
Correct.
Well, actually, yeah, and I've seen Rug Splash. I guess that's 4-color Delver, but we see the Thoughtseize here. He's going to get rid of the Stifle. And what's next? I'm trying to see. Hard to see his hand, actually. We're going to see a Tarmogoyf. So right now, Glyph's actually relatively large. We see instant, creature, land, sorcery. It's a 4/5. And, there's the Daze. No, I think this actually might be a relatively good matchup, though. Due to, I've seen Ryan play a few rounds of Rug, and he's been getting more and more efficient with the deck.
Ryan is one of the best Rug players in South Florida. He's
Yeah?
really good.
Okay.
He doesn't play it often anymore, but he played that deck for a long time. Believe me, he is very skilled pilot with it.
Okay. I might have played him on a bad day. I had a good chance with Reanimator against him.
Reanimator,
I fought through the counters.
Yeah, Reanimator's, I don't know if it's favored or not, but if you have the counter spells, there's really not much they can do. A lot of Rug decks don't even play Graveyard Hate in their sideboard.
Really?
He happens to be playing 2 Tormod scripts.
That's nice. I mean, I think it's almost necessary to run Graveyard Hate just for so many decks out there. And we're going to see the Goyf battle here.
So him, the Torok, and Thoughtseize are still hanging out in Matt Snyder's hand, but the threat's already on the board, and mana's already on the board, so I don't think Ryan Lesko really cares about Bolts too much. Bolt's probably one of the best cards you can still draw to get rid of opposing Delvers.
That's about right.
And all Matt Snyder wants to do is draw as many Abrupt Decays as possible at this point. Maybe follow it up with, he does play 1 or 2 Liliana's main, which can help get rid of the Nimble Mongoose.
It'd be nice to see Liliana. We are going to
there
see
it is. That's 1 Abrupt Decay.
That's one less threat you have to worry about, and your clock gets bigger.
Yep. Ryan not too happy about that, understandably so.
That's making the clock a little bit faster. The life totals have not been changing, but from what we've seen, it should be 15 to... Ryan didn't fetch it, has he? I didn't see him fetch first shot, right?
He did not fetch yet, but they have taken some damage. I want to make sure
15 to 16, I believe. Are we going to see a second? No, we're going to see a second.
Another Goyf.
That's
exactly what Matt Schneider needs. Basically, as many Delvers, Goyfs, and Abrupt Decays as possible. Is all he wants to be doing.
As long as he can bash back with 8, that seems like the best option here. If you guys will notice, Matt Schneider's been trying really hard. He hasn't played a lot of Legacy recently, but he's had his cards going all around the world, getting all these beautiful signatures. Something I like to see. I know everyone's not partial to signatures, but I think it looks really nice. And we're going to see it's hard to see. I saw a Delver, and then there's 2 other cards. So leave them the other end, draw one. Mind pulling up the chat for me if you could?
Sure. What do you want? Sorry, which one?
The chat?
Chat is pulled up right there. Oh, you can't see it?
Oh,
gotcha.
that's fine.
My bad.
It's all good. There we go. Anyone on Reanimator we could see? No, actually I don't think there's any Reanimator players out there right now.
Giovanni's playing
is Gio
Reanimator.
out there
Pretty
right
sure
now?
he's playing Reanimator.
Is he live still?
I hope not, because that's why we didn't put him on feature match, because it was Reanimator versus Storm, and that's not really a fun match.
No, that's not. Okay. That's definitely not the best match to see. Ryan still has a
Running around.
is it a Mongoose or is it a Feldgriff? I don't know. I'm a little worried here. Is that what
It could be Uzel Sprat crying some more. I'm not sure if it's coming through or not.
And there's the other Abrupt Decay.
Another Abrupt Decay, wow.
You're calling it, man.
That's what he needs, and
That's
that's it.
I mean, 2 Goyfs beating you down. That was it. That was
So Ryan Lesko gets abruptly beaten. I'm not as good as puns as Matt Rossi or Ben Rossi, so
he's out.
Let's pull some sideboards here.
Let's see it here. For the matchup here, would you take out your own Goyfs to bring in Tormund scripts here? Or do you think it's not worth it at all? I mean, I think that's a really rough decision.
I do not think it's worth bringing in Tormund scripts here.
I
You only want to bring that in if it's like a silver bullet, so.
I definitely say yes to Pithing Needle, turn off his death rights. Stop the acceleration a little bit here. Maybe invasive surgery. I mean, it's our new envelop, and it also has a chance of getting rid of all of his Hymn to Turox and Thoughtseizes of that nature. Maybe the Dismember. Goyf didn't get bigger than 4/5 this game. We didn't see any Lilies die either, but it definitely didn't get bigger than 4/5.
Yeah. I think Vendilion Click's just decent because it's another
3/1 flyer. 3/1 flyer gets a threat out of the hand, possibly the Abrupt Decay if they don't have the mana.
Yeah, it's another threat, which is really good. Invasive Surgery is okay, it's not great.
Right. Maybe the
Dismember
Pyroblast?
is super, super good.
Yeah.
Pyroblast is okay. He doesn't really have a lot for this kind of matchup.
What is Seal?
Pithing Needle is actually really good.
Is Seal Primordium the green destroy target artifact or enchantment?
Yes, it's colors in the green, enchantment,
Got it.
Sacrifice it, pop one of those. And he might bring that in if he's thinking his opponent's going to bring in a Jite.
Which is a good possibility.
But that's like a sort of, you got to be one level ahead of your opponent. I'm not sure if he's going to go far.
Gotcha. Now for Matt Schneider's board, what do we see here that we can need? He can bring in his own Pithing Needles, but I don't think that would do as much as we expect it to. Or as I would expect it to, rather. What does he do here? I mean, I see Pernicious Deed. I don't think that's a phenomenal choice here.
Pernicious Deed is really good against Rug.
Is it really?
Yeah, all their threats are less than 2 mana.
And you have your big threats on occasion.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, Rug has to stifle it. Rug can stifle it, don't get me wrong, but... Captain QC in chat is asking, are there any good places to scuba dive? Yes, everywhere.
This is South
We are
Florida.
surrounded by water, all sides. Go either left, right, or down, and you're good. Like, you knock yourself out.
To be honest, there's a place called Red Reef Park. I've gone there.
Oh, you with the real answers.
This is I got to give at least one real answer today. Red Reef Park. It's a very nice place. You pay to get in. Man-made reefs. Beautiful place.
Yep.
Give it a look and see if you like it. Would you think Sylvan Library would be relevant in this game?
Sylvan Library is very good in this game if it grinds out.
I mean, he has the one of Dark Confidant. There's always a possibility.
I'll step out, fix the lights. We'll be back in 1 second.
No worries. I'll solo it. Let's go. It's right here. Alright, it's right here. We had Bug Delver win game 1. He just out-goyfed and had the Abrupt Decays to slow his opponent down. Nothing he could really do about it. I mean, it's one of those things that aren't... It's not easy to fight through. I mean, you see 2 Goyfs, 2 of your Goyfs get Abrupt Decayed, and Delver is definitely not fast enough to stop. Okay. Golgari Charm. That would not be helpful here. No.
Golgari Charm is not that great.
I thought it would be decent than I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, it's not as good as I thought it was.
Our players are going to finish shuffling up here.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. You can tell Matt's had those sleeves a long time. Oh, he did bring in the Pernicious Deed. So we see Pernicious Deed, 3 lands, Brainstorm, Stifle, something else.
Yeah, Pernicious Deed is going to be insane here. He brought in Stifles. Did Matt Schneider bring in Stifles?
Yeah, that's the hand I saw.
Interesting.
And again, we haven't seen Ryan really fetch as much recently in these games. He's just been playing the lands he's had. Couldn't see what he drew was the whole problem here. I mean, it looks like he has a grip of 4 land. 4 land, Stifle, Brainstorm, and Deathrite Shaman.
Deathrite Shaman is really good.
I didn't see the Deathrite in hand, which is nice to see. He's going to dismember it immediately.
4 life to dismember it, but Deathrite Shaman is that big of a threat where it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Deathrite is one of the single best cards against Rug. You're affecting the graveyard, which Rug needs their graveyard a lot.
Absolutely.
You're gaining life, which Rug does not want you gaining life because they want to end the game quickly.
That's true.
And you get over the mana hump because Rug is going to screw your mana up so hard with Wastelands, Stifles, and taxing with Spell Pierces and Days.
I believe it, yeah.
So, and there it is. Oh!
He's going to stifle the Wasteland. Wow.
Wow. This is looking really bad for Matt
And then we're
Schneider,
gonna see
especially
Goyf.
after the Tarmogoyf.
Oh, boy. So, Goyf is land, creature, instant.
It's a Stifle, for those of you who might not know.
Beautiful card.
1 mana, counter target activated or triggered ability. Seems simple, and it is, but that's what makes it so beautiful.
That's what it
I'm going
is.
to J-Soul to you. I'll Stifle that, because that's an activated ability.
Jason.
I'm going to equip Umazawa Street. I'll Stifle that. That's an activated ability.
So good.
The Flicker Wisp return trigger. There's 2 triggers to that.
Is there really?
When you exile it, and then at the end of the turn, it comes back. So if they exile their own Battered Skull to save it, you can Stifle the return trigger, and that card stays exiled forever. Stifle is insane.
I've never thought of that one. That's actually really busted.
Biggest use in Legacy, stifling of fetch lands.
Which is always...
It's a 1 mana wasteland. So you have 4 wastelands and 4 1 mana wastelands, basically. Also prevents people from brainstorming away and shuffling those cards.
That's true, it does. I never thought it was that good. I guess that's why modern players aren't allowed to have it.
Nope.
Those poor souls.
Tarmogoyf doing some work here. 2 Tarmogoyfs.
So, he can still survive this. He has the Pernicious Deed in hand. As long as he doesn't get Wasteland again, he has a few turns to survive. And, interestingly enough, let's hope he can draw an Abrupt Decay of some sort. We'll see. We'll see if he can fetch here without getting stifled.
Man's Nakata Boob makes a point out that he loves stifling miracle triggers. Yeah, it's fantastic.
What?
Miracles are triggers.
Oh, no.
Yep. Terminus, gone. Nope, 1 mana.
I didn't know that. Alright, I'm going to start playing Goblins Flashing Blue now.
Yeah, right.
That was my worst nightmare with Goblins. Still love that deck. Still going to play it more, but... Good God.
Matt Schneider's trying to get his mana base back online. That's typically, by the way, for those who want to... As a person who's been playing Legacy for 5+ years and played a lot of Rug for at least over a year or 2,
Okay.
the best way to beat Rug is to get your mana online.
Okay.
Fetch for basics. Don't fetch for lands when they have a blue open. Like, be smart about it.
Right.
Wait for them to tap out and then crack your fetch so they can't stifle you in response.
The issue is right
That
here.
is step 1. So.
That is step 1, but Bug Delver runs, to my knowledge, no basics.
It does not typically. They might. Because Rug is not really popular in South Florida right now, people aren't really... And Blood Moons haven't been too popular.
Not
They're still
really,
here.
no. They're not as
People
much.
are being greedy with their mana bases now and going back into nothing but duels. When those cards like Back to Basics, Blood Moon, and Wasteland come back, though, you'll see the Bug Delver players will put a Forest, Swamp, and Island back in.
Really? That much, huh? I mean,
Yep,
you got 2
one of
drops,
each.
3 Underground Seas, and 2 Bayous. They just cut 3 of the duels and do it, huh? I think
Yep.
it'd be worth it, for sure. Alright, look in the hand there. I think I saw... Is that 2 Goyfs and a Delver that he brainstormed?
Thing is, he doesn't have the mana to get these cards in play.
But he doesn't need to. He has another land in hand. He can go Pernicious Deed and hope it doesn't get forced.
He can next turn, yeah.
And he'll still live. He can block with a Deathrite Shaman.
Unfortunately, that puts him in days range, though. That's another way to lose to Rug Delver, is by playing in the
Yeah.
days. Like, don't let them wait a turn and play your card. It's really hard for Matt Schneider to wait now because he's behind.
Yeah, he's absurdly behind.
But in the Battle of the Stores a week ago, my opponent just turn 3 played a True Name Nemesis against me.
And you
Or
just,
turn 2.
and you're just like, alright, here it is.
And I just dazed it. And he's like, oh, you would have it. I'm like... And afterwards, I'm like, dude, just wait 1 turn.
That's it.
I'm like, no, we were both like 19 life, 20
Oh,
life.
you have all the time in the
Just
world.
wait, get 4 mana so I can't daze you out.
That's exactly it. Or
And
you
he
just wait till
didn't.
turn 3.
And to be fair, Rug's not popular down here, so not many players have experience against it. But
Yeah, I mean, I've only played against Ryan Lesko himself, actually. I've never had a chance to actually see it. Though he's going to try to get some threats down here.
or blockers, I'm not sure which. But
I don't know either. It is the problem.
instant lands and creatures in the graveyard, keeping Goyfs to 3/4. That was an end of the turn brainstorm. It looked like.
That wasn't in turn brainstorm. So what we're seeing here is he might keep Abrupt Decay mana open.
He didn't play the Pernicious Deed. He's going to risk it and try to get 1 more mana up so he can play around the days. I don't know if that's the right play here because you're so far pressed against the wall.
I mean, that's 6-7 damage coming in you. You'll go to 2. That's...
But you can't go in bolt range. You got to stay above 4 or above 3. You got to be at 4 or higher.
I'm just not sure what we can do here in this situation. This is... Goyf. This is what happened last game on the flip sides of the board here. And instead of a Delver, it's a Nimble Mongoose this time. And he's going to bolt Bolt the Death Right.
That's essentially a wasteland here.
Yes, it is.
It's getting rid of all those activations for Death Right to get mana.
So do you abrupt decay something here? What do you do here?
I definitely abrupt decay. You have to use every single mana you can as efficiently as possible now. So he needs to essentially use all of his mana every single turn to get threats on the board and to get ahead, or to clear the board up with a Pernicious Deed.
Oh, he's just gonna gain 2 life. I think he's in trouble if he's
Maybe
gaining
he
life.
doesn't actually have their Deed in hand. I don't know.
I saw Deed opening hand.
Did he? He didn't shuffle it away, did he?
He shouldn't have. I mean, I think Deed's a phenomenal card. If you board it in, you definitely want to play it. Bash in for 6. Probably take it and go to 5.
Man. It's hard to say if you take it or not. I think you have to, so you can risk the flip and trade with that Nimble Mongoose, maybe.
Yeah, that's it right there.
That's tough.
That's a rough one. But then he's dead to 2 Goyfs. That's lethal right there.
Yep.
So we go for the flip. We'll see something out of him. He brainstormed, so there were things.
So Ryan Lesko, for those of you new to Legacy, he brainstormed, he drew 3 cards, and then he put 2 cards back on top. Now, because he's playing fetch lands, which we have one on the right of the screen, the left of the screen,
Yes.
he puts his 2 worst cards back that are relevant, then he activates his fetch land to put them away. Fixing your hand like that and drawing better cards is really the pillar of Legacy, or one of the biggest pillars of Legacy.
It really is.
A lot of times in Standard or Modern, you're sort of susceptible to variance.
Okay.
Yeah, you draw what you draw, and those are the cards you and your opponent play with. You don't really get to manipulate what you're drawing. You deal with it.
Due to the bannings, Brainstorm's gone.
Yep.
They don't have Ponder.
So that's one of the reasons Legacy's great, though, is because the variance is much smaller. Typically, the better player wins more because players are getting access to the cards they need, and they get to make more decisions.
Right. Okay.
One of the reasons I love the format, and why earlier I was saying why it's a deep format, and that's an example.
But yeah, like you said, we can do all these things. We see double Delver, Spell Pierce off of the Brainstorm. I think we're just gonna keep a Delver here, play the Delver, and say, look, I have the threats on the board. Do you want to scoop it up and go to the next game?
The thing is, he can draw another Goyf. Right.
I think he has another Goyf in hand.
It's
Delver, Goyf. So you could just slam 2 Delvers here if he so felt. So either slam 2 Delvers, get a 3rd Goyf, and see that.
I think it's got the 3rd Goyf out, and you just stall the board up.
I mean, Matt Schneider has another Goyf in hand, but he doesn't have enough to do anything here. So you block the Nimble Mongoose, you block the Goyf.
Yep. And then you're going to take, what is it? You're taking, is it 4 or is it still 3? It looks like it's 3 because there's no sorceries.
Creature, instant, land. Nope, no sorceries. And he's going to go down to 2 in bolt range. There's a Delver, so if Delver flips.
Which he played a Brainstorm. He knows the Delver's going to flip.
If both Delvers flip.
Now, if Matt Schneider draws a Dark Ritual, we're in business, baby.
My God.
Because he could Dark Ritual, Pernicious Deed, crack it for 1. Maybe he'd have to crack it for 2, though, wouldn't he?
He would have to crack it for 2.
He'd have to draw a land Dark Ritual.
I need to shut my phone off.
You got some girls hitting you up? Hmm?
If you want to call them that. No.
Or people who identify as girls, I guess. I know there's correct nomenclature these days.
2016.
I'm still learning. Sorry.
2016, we're all in trouble. Every barbershop I've seen now. Unisex barbershop.
Yep.
Like you just can't say what it is. So they're scooping it up here.
And we go to game 3. Ryan Lesko takes game 2. He drew more threats than Matt Schneider drew above the Ks. Matt Schneider never got the Pernicious Deed online.
And he got the stifles out that he needed. He didn't see any fetch lines, which I think was really relevant to leave the. It just left Matt's hand of stifles irrelevant.
Yep.
He drew until the late games. He only had just played the lands. It was great. Would there be anything you really change out for?
For play versus draw, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think.
Typically, rug players, and it's debated even amongst the rug god, so to speak.
Yeah.
There's really good rug players. They will argue either way. Some keep daces and forces in.
Yeah.
A lot of players always cut daces and forces. Some on the play, some on the draw.
I think.
Typically, you always want to cut days on the draw.
Okay.
Because you want to be a land ahead of your opponent, so to speak. It makes days much more effective.
How do you feel
Especially turn 1 Delver, and they play a turn 1 threat, and you just daze it, flip your Delver,
Right. I mean, I guess.
And
I
then
see
you
that
like
going,
if they played a dual lane, you put a wasteland back down instead. You wasteland that turns, and all of a sudden you have a 3/2 on the board with flying, and they don't even have many permanents in play yet.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. I think I would keep Days in for this Delver matchup due to how much counterspell there is.
I lean on the side of keeping Days in.
Okay.
I do cut forces once in a while. I know this matchup, you're going to get down to not many cards in hand, and he's playing uncounterable spells like Abrupt Decay.
Yeah.
So I'm less of a fan of Force of Will. I also don't like... Ryan Lesko's playing a preordained main.
Oh, he is.
That's one of the 6 flex slots.
That is. That's right. He's also running a
Not a fan of it.
Run with Tarfire to get Goyf just a little bit bigger. Which I mean.
But his opponent's playing Goyfs too.
So here, I don't
So
think.
Tarfire could be a card you cut as well, bring
I
in
think
a
it's a good
Dismember
one. I
instead.
think it's a good one to cut out.
He is the other flex slots. Rug players have the same 54 every time. It's been solved. It's been solved for years.
It's absurd.
So there's 6 flex slots, and typically now a lot of people. I was talking with Ryan earlier pre-tournament. 2 of those are always Spell Pierce.
I like Spell Pierce.
So I agree with that.
It's a phenomenal card.
2 other ones he's playing, Spell Snare. You know how good that is in this matchup? Him the Torok, Tarmogoyf. Oh man.
1 mana, stop your
Some of the most
5/6
important
meter.
cards. Yep. Which I'm not sure. Him the Torok might also be one of those cards that's worse than the draw. Obviously.
I don't
You
know
want to play it
if
on turn 2 a lot.
I know, but I don't know if I'd consider it worse than the draw.
It has to. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 him.
That's pretty good.
You don't want turn 3 him.
You don't want turn 3 him.
Or like you don't want him on the draw. I mean, so like it's. I'm not sure if Match Nine's going to keep it in. If he takes it out, Spell Snare is still a little less effective. But the biggest card in the matchup,
Goyf.
Goyf and Abrupt Decays, right? Like
Goyf has won the games. That's
Yep.
how we've won these matches. Is I had 2 Goyfs. So look, now I have 2 Goyfs. We're gonna go from there.
I feel bad because I convinced Ryan to cut some submerges out of his board before the tournament. So I'm like, when are you ever playing against another Goyf deck? There's never any Goyf decks here.
He's gonna talk to you. After
Yeah,
this,
and now naturally he's playing against another Goyf deck. I mean, what are you going
and
to
they're
do?
both going to 6.
Yep. Interesting rule that a lot of people have talked about. So this might be bringing up some old boring stuff, but the scry roll.
Okay.
This is a Delver deck. The scry roll becomes a little better here.
Oh shit, it
A
does.
little better.
I've been partial against the Scry Roll. I didn't really like it when they first brought it up. I'll still do it. I still enjoy it. But I feel that we didn't need it. It's nice, but it does give a little bit of a push to certain sides versus others.
Yeah, I'm not good enough to say or experienced enough to really say if it's a good change or not. I do know after talking with some pros, I talked to Ben Stark recently about it. He was doing some commentary for us and stuff.
Right, he was. Good commentary, too.
Really good players are all saying it's a great change for the game overall.
Okay.
So if they're saying it, I have to agree with them over...
And I can't deny that. It just turns a 1-lander with maybes. You scry, you see a
Until
land on top.
you're not going to 5 anymore. You actually play Magic.
Yeah, which is nice. It actually is very nice. I've gone to 5 and it makes you feel bad. I've gone to 4 and you just say, all right, I lost.
Yeah.
Mulling to 4 is probably one of the worst feelings next to mulling to 3.
Yeah.
And then you scoop it up. Unless your opponent's nice and they say, go back to 5.
Can't do that in real tournaments.
No, you can't.
Matt Schneider is going down to 5. That reduces his chance a lot. That's really
I
rough.
really hope he cut. I think I just saw a glimpse of a him there. So you might have those in.
He's in the play.
That's true. I really hope if he did cut Force Will, this would be the time not to draw them.
Yeah.
Effectively bringing
Exactly.
yourself to 1 to 2 cards.
Turn 1
2 to 3.
Thoughtseize, turn 2 him, though, is really good for him right now.
If
It's
he-
obviously really good all the time.
If he
but
rips that, my God.
man, he needs
They're
to get rid of
both
the
in.
Delver, turn 2, him, get rid of 2 other threats
Force,
or something.
Stifle, Dryad Arbor?
Really?
No, that's not a Dryad Arbor, sorry.
Okay.
I got scared. I think it was either Bayou or Verdant.
This looks like a really bad hand. I think he's going to have to go to 4.
Yep.
Nope, he's keeping
He's
Scry.
fine, but it's at the bottom.
Thank God for the Scry roll, right?
Going to 4 is almost impossible. It was a Goyf.
I believe you have a 50% chance less to win if you're at 5 cards. It's that hard.
Really?
Yes.
Oh boy. I should play Dredge.
Aha.
Because Dredge mold the best out of any deck. Actually absurd.
Yes.
You can win on 4 cards. It's pretty crazy.
They're the three Ds they used to be called. You need a draw card, a discard card, and a dredger. Right? That's all you need.
I kind of like that. So he doesn't have any lands in hand is the problem.
He might have one. We could have just not seen how he drew it. So, Running on Water from chat. Thanks for tuning in, man. He agrees. Says the Scry Rule is good, especially for Tron decks.
He just drew a Wasteland. He doesn't have any other lands, though. Do you just try to Wasteland your opponent or just wait?
If he has a Stifle, it's so dirty. But you can't let him draw if you're not going to do it. He's going to keep the mana. He's just going to hang on to it.
He kind of needs it. He's got a Goyf. There's at least something in the graveyard to make it a 1/2 for now. And he just has to hope he rips land off the next few. And we're going to see a Goyf. It's just a 1/2 right now, but...
It'll grow.
It's always he's going to force
We see a force coming back from Matt Schneider pitching the Stifle.
Yeah. And he plays his deck very interesting. He puts it in the center of his body.
Yeah, I don't
puts it away.
I don't know what's up with that. That's a little...
It's just a personal preference. He does it in Commander all the time, too. It's a personal
Yeah,
preference. It's interesting.
It's awkward. He puts the forces right in Tarmogoyf's face.
It's signed.
Slaps it on there.
It's signed. He's allowed.
Every card almost is signed in Matt Schneider's deck. One of the hardest cards to get signed is Wasteland.
And he finally got his place.
And he got Wasteland signed by Una Fricker,
Oh
who he or she, I'm not sure. Apparently, I believe Una Fricker is not the real name.
It's not the real name. I actually don't know her real name, but she rarely signs. And while we're in the group chat signing thing,
Yeah.
they finally got her.
Good.
And
there's a lot of Wastelands out there that need some love.
There are, and it's nice to see that he got him back. He's been waiting a good 6 months to get his cards back. He's still missing a lot of cards for some other decks.
So wastelanding, I don't like wastelanding there, especially when your opponent's cantripping and stuff.
Green source? Well, I mean,
there's more green spells than there are red spells.
That's true, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a spelling turn, so we can still get there. Packin91, thanks for following.
Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. If you guys are new to the stream and new to Legacy and want to learn some more, click that follow button. You'll summon the sloth in the bottom left side. You can also get to see when we go live. We stream every Thursday. We got some Modern. Sundays we have Legacy. And lately we've had Ben Stark joining us doing some drafts on Wednesday nights.
I've been watching those. They're good.
They're good. He
They're
is phenomenal. There's a reason he wins so much.
It's absolutely correct. He's going to fetch here, get it out of the way while his opponent doesn't have any Stifle up, and probably get the next Trop.
Yep.
It's a shame that none of them run Surgical Extraction on their board. If he had gone Wasteland, Surgical your Trop, I've seen a lot of Rug players
That is
scoop it
that
up.
is a trap that intermediate Legacy players fall into. It is never right to do that.
It's never right, but I've seen it happen,
It can.
and it hurts
It's
so much.
so rare, though. You're usually better. It's not what it's meant for. The card is meant for
I know.
the graveyard matchups.
I know
and
it
it's fun to
is.
do it and be like, haha, I got you. But
That's why it's fun. That's what I mean. It's fun. It's not the correct play. Surgical Extraction is, like you said, a trap that I've fallen into many a times.
we do see a couple dazes in Ryan Lesko's hand, along with a Delver.
Stifle.
Looks like a Stifle
A Bolt.
and a Bolt. So
Two back.
Ryan Lesko's running a pretty good hand here, especially against a hand that's tied on mana with those dazes and a Stifle.
Yeah.
Especially with a Delver that's going to be flipping in a turn.
If Matt plays a fetch land, he's just out of this game, I think.
Yep.
I think he has to rip a non... Oh, there you go.
That's a start, but he got rid of the Wasteland. He Wastelanded, which I really disagree with.
He has a Death Right in hand that he's going to get dazed.
It's going to get dazed, which you got to start. You don't get the luxury to play around that anymore. Didn't even get dazed. He's just going to pop the bolt on it instead.
I don't know if I like that. I'd rather see the daze. You're going to see another Force Wheel just to save it.
Now we get the daze. Well, we don't get the daze because it's already resolved.
Daze the Force Wheel, though.
Yep.
I think Matt might be out of this game.
It's going to be rough now. I really wish he had that Wasteland open. If he had that Wasteland open, he gets around the daze. He could play a Tarmogoyf.
Oh, it's so
all
much
these
better.
things. And now we see
But we can still see him rip the Abrupt Decay, rip another land, do a few things here.
the flip Delver.
Insectile.
Now Insectile Aberration.
You seen the new Insectile Aberration? The like 5-drop, 4/5 or whatever.
Yeah, it's
Not as
it's
good.
just a lore thing. It doesn't actually do anything. It's just there to appease us
Fair.
nerds. So
Still pretty cool. I got to play a set of foils. But actually, foil Delver's really low too right now.
yep. Well, Delver is not really a popular meta deck or popular deck in Legacy right now. It's I know.
No, it actually is not.
Also not in Modern. It used to be really popular in Modern, especially when Treasure Cruise was legal.
Oh god, I remember all the blue-white Delver decks that were just starting to go ham.
Blue, white, blue, red, right?
The blue-white.
I never saw that. I was on
You
blue, red.
never saw blue-white? Oh my god.
I played a lot of blue, red, and I won a lot of games because of it. So
I mean, blue-red's phenomenal. I mean, that was my first ever Legacy deck I played. Zach let me borrow a blue-red Delver at Heroes and Villains, and I top 8'd my first event.
Yep.
It was cool. And that was with Dig Through Time.
I was not good at Modern, but I knew how to play my blue, red spells in order, and I won a lot of games and tournaments because of it. So
There you go. So what I think he has in hand is a shame. He has Abrupt Decay. I think it was the Sylvan Library and Tarmogoyf.
he needs to rip an underground. Just rip an underground, baby. Come on.
It'd be so nice. It'd put him back in this game.
Yep.
It'd put him way back in this game.
God, Abrupt Decay. Oh, if he gets that land for that Abrupt Decay.
Oh,
Woo!
please. There aren't.
We can see Matt Schneider pull this off, but it's not looking favorable right now.
No, it's not. We're gonna see a preordain.
The Water of Preordain. I hate that card.
Yeah.
It's not Storm. Get rid of it. It's not Show and Tell. Get rid of it.
That's a good point. Yeah.
It's the worst cantrip.
The world. Serum Visions.
That's actually played in Legacy.
Okay.
Not.
Okay, I was about to say
Sorry.
we have a few here. Sleight of hand. We can start naming some cards. Bash him with Delver. I want to see him rip an Underground Sea. No fetch. He can't rip the fetch here.
Let's see what he gets.
Oh no.
No! That's going to be Stifled.
Oh, damn it. Such a good card.
It's a Stifle, which went really fast from Ryan Lesko's hand in the graveyard.
I don't think you can say it fast. You can do it any faster there. Just
Yes, boom!
stop.
Delver coming in again. Knocks Matt Schneider down to 5 after the fetch and the Delver hit, going down from 9 to 5.
There's a daze.
There's the days.
Oh. It's going to go to 2 if Ryan has the bolt.
He bolted the Death Right.
That's right, he did. I would have dazed it. There it is.
Then he drew another one. That's it, boys.
Oh no! Let's see what he had here. Delver. He was a Delver. It was. Oh, he was. There
Yeah.
it is. We were too far away.
That was rough. Matt Schneider did a good job, though. He tried to hang in there for a bit.
He did. That was good match. Going down to 5 was not easy. Keeping a no lander on 5, that was rough.
All right. Well, we have about 17 minutes left in the match.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a little break here.
Need some
We're going to go throw a replay.
Get some barbecue.
I already had some, but Jake's going to get some
Get
barbecue
some
and stuff,
barbecue.
so we're going to hang out. We'll be back in roughly 17 minutes, 20 minutes, so hang around. We'll be back with round 4 of sweet, sensual, intimate, hot, spicy, beautiful
Actually, final round 4.
Legacy. The final round of Swiss of Legacy action before we cut into our top. We're actually cutting the top 4 today
Oh,
because we only had 16 players,
it's my worst nightmare.
which is great for me because that means I get ample time before Game of Thrones. So
Oh.
we'll be back soon, guys. Hang tight. Thanks.
Well, anytime he